have got another interesting experiment to do with water filters. So the first stage of my water filter is this custom designed filter, which was designed by John from Direct Water Filters, and it is a 20 micron filter designed just to filter out the biggest scag in the canal. But he's asked me if I could do an experiment, and the experiment that he's asked me to do is what would happen if we used a much smaller water filter than this, with a much smaller size. Would it clog up quickly? Would it still work? And so he supplied me with this, which is a 5 micron water filter, again with a specially designed adapter on it. And he's also supplied me with a 1 micron water filter. So what we're going to do is we're going to fill up the tank with this. We're going to do it in the least ideal conditions possible. So I'm not going to bother cleaning it. I'm not going to bother clearing it. I'm just going to chuck it in the canal and see what happens. Okay, so let's crack on with that. And we will see what the flow rate is before and after I fill my tank. Okay, here is our setup. Here is our beautifully clean filter. Into the canal it goes. And then what we'll do is we'll start pumping water through and we'll do a sort of quick rough flow test. So let's try that. Okay, here it is flowing. So we'll give it a minute or two to settle, and then we'll go like this. We'll go Halifax 1, Halifax 2, Halifax 3, Halifax 4, Halifax 5, Halifax 6, Halifax 7. Okay, so about 7 seconds to fill up that that particular jug. So let's leave it running for 10 minutes and see what it's like in 10 minutes time. Okay, about 10 minutes have passed, so we're going to do another fill test and see how fast it is flowing. Let's have a look. It does look a bit slower, but let's have a look. Halifax 1, Halifax 2, Halifax 3, Halifax 4, Halifax 5, Halifax 6, Halifax 7. Oh, it's about the same. So it's about the same, so that's good. And then what we're going to do next is we're going to turn the pump off, and we're going to have a look at our filter to see what it looks like. And the answer is pretty grim. So the question is, long term, will this filter just clog up in 2 or 3 uses, or will it stay working for a month or so? So I'm going to obviously not do that now. I'm going to do a few more fills and then I shall get back to you with the results. See you later. Okay, I have now been running this 5 micron filter for a couple of weeks now, well, 4 or 5 weeks, and so it's now time to have a look at the results and see what they look like. The other question to ask is, does cleaning the filter have any effect? Okay, so with the pump running in the background and making a noise, let's have a look at the month's data and see what it tells us. Well, I've pumped a little bit more than 400 litres over the past month, and what has happened to my flow rate is it has gone pretty steadily down from 8 litres per minute down to quite low. In fact, basically 5 litres per minute was its minimum, and then it's gone back up again towards the end. So in other words, what seems to have happened is it clogs down to about 5 litres per minute and then stays there. So I guess the next thing to do is to talk about cleaning the filter. Okay, so we already know now that the bottom line is that this filter is probably not suitable for my needs, but nevertheless it is worth asking the question, what happens if we give it a good scrub? Does the flow rate go back up again? So with basically this filter is more or less destroyed anyway, so it doesn't matter if I really go for it with the brush, and we will see how well it survives and what it does to the flow rate. So let's do that. Okay, observations are that cleaning it out after it's been in the canal for nearly a month stinks. And second observations is I'm pulling lots and lots of these sort of fibres off and out, which suggests that I'm actually damaging the filter as I do it. So I'm no longer convinced that this will be absolutely a 5 micron filter. So that's really what I wanted to know. 5 microns, for my use case at least anyway, is not suitable. However, we've got one more thing to do, which is that we've got to put this back on the filter system and see if having a quick scrub of it has resulted in a better flow rate. So let's do that. Okay, here's a quick update as my bacon sandwich cooks in the background. So after cleaning, the flow rate went right back up almost to where it was, but incredibly quickly dropped back down to its lowest level yet. And I think the reason for that is that when I scrubbed it with the scrubbing brush, I probably drove the dirt further into the weave, and also all of that sort of weird cobwebby stuff I pulled off was actually part of the weave, and I suspect that the stuff that I didn't actually remove basically went straight back and clogged up the holes. So what we need to do is to draw some conclusions. So, conclusions. Well, I really like the longer style of water filter. Firstly, it sits close to the boat, and also this bit here is heavier, so it sinks better. And then the final thing I like about it is that actually the water intake is there, so you've got a whole sort of interior cylinder of water that's already been filtered sitting there. So I really like the style. However, a reasonable scientific conclusion would be, for my purposes, 5 microns is too small a filter to work efficiently, and that it clogs up too fast. So that's not a failure, I don't think, because actually what that shows me is I want to see if I can get hold of a 20 or maybe a 10 micron filter and try it out on this shape of filter housing. Nevertheless, both of them work, so I'm pretty happy with this system so far, and I will be feeding this back to John, and he will be using it to improve his products. So it's a win all round. If you like these videos, please do like and subscribe, and I shall see you guys next time. Goodbye.